cryptocurrencies, there are two types. There's a cryptocurrency which might actually do something, and then there's one which does nothing. I call it the pet rock, the Bitcoin or something like that. There are use cases, AML, fraud, tax avoidance, sex trafficking. Those are real use cases, and you see it being used for hundreds, maybe $50, $100 billion a year for that.
In the year 2024, the ability to transfer currency digitally from user to user or from asset to asset is a modern-day equivalent of magic. In the past, if you wanted to move money quickly and securely, you would need a wire transfer or found a way to move your cash into a tangible asset like gold, art, or real estate to be sold at a later date. Nowadays, you can move your money into more directions than a Rubik's Cube can turn, moving money from account to account, brokerage to brokerage, and seamlessly trading into and out of assets. It's honestly remarkable how efficient we've become at increasing the elasticity of our currency. However, what we have failed to do is actually base our currency and ensure we don't do anything crazy. Like, print trillions of dollars out of thin air, allow private entities to manipulate the economy itself, and ensure inflation erodes away the purchasing power of every American citizen until the inevitable end of our capitalist dystopia. Yeah, doing something like that would be a huge mistake. Good thing we're nowhere close to that. My name's Mark, and welcome to Evergreen. We make deep dives into the world of business and finance, empowering you, our cherished viewer, with the tools you need to take control of your financial future. Now tap in, and I'll explain. You see, as we've progressed in technology and literally every other aspect of our lives, one aspect has remained especially archaic: money. Money as we know it is simply a means of attributing value to something, creating a fair and reputable way to trade goods and services as compared to, the barter system. The problem is money in the traditional sense, or in this case, focusing on the United States, used to be tied to something tangible: gold. You see, gold was and has always been the metal humanity for some reason has chosen to base its currency after. And for good reason too. It's tangible, finite, and sought after. It can be measured, weighed, stored, and transported. So for thousands of years, gold was, and I can't believe I'm making this pun so early in the video, the gold standard. Wow, that one really hurt to say out loud. Anyway, the thing is, people would spend their dollars knowing this money was backed by a stable and universally agreed upon standard, which was the amount of gold stored and controlled by the US Treasury. As a result, people could confidently save, trade, and invest capital, knowing their money was stable, and the economy along with it. However, this wouldn't be an Evergreen video without me completely raining on the parade and letting you know that the US government completely screwed itself by writing checks that its ass couldn't cash. As a result, President Nixon did the unthinkable. He removed the US from the gold standard. Ever since this moment in history, the United States has operated on what's called a fiat monetary system.
And the American economy is by far the strongest in the world. Accordingly, I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculator. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets.
This means our currency isn't backed by anything except for the belief that we all collectively attribute to it. Well, that's not entirely true. It's also backed by the full might of the US military, its allies, a massive nuclear arsenal, and that sweet, sweet oil. In 2009, a revolutionary developer by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto, who may or may not be a real person or entity, launched the world's first true cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. The idea was to create a completely decentralized digital currency that was not only controlled by no government and couldn't be manipulated in any way. In addition, the sale and ownership of these Bitcoins would go on a digital ledger called the blockchain, which would exist forever, clearly showing who does what for all time. These coins would also be stored in digital wallets, in some cases cold or hard wallets, which are physical and can be stored. The idea was groundbreaking, revolutionary, and inspiring. The currency would also have a finite supply, capping off at just 21 million Bitcoins to ever exist. You see, the blockchain in of itself was a revolutionary feat of technological innovation. The Bitcoin blockchain is like a big public book where anyone can see what's been written on its pages. The book keeps track of who sends Bitcoin to whom. Imagine you have a sticker and you give it to your friend. In the Bitcoin world, this is like sending a Bitcoin. You tell everyone, hey, I'm giving my sticker to my friend. Now, to make sure everyone remembers who owns which stickers, we write it down in our big book. But instead of writing one thing down at a time, we wait until we have a bunch of sticker trades and then write them down all on the same page. This page is like a block in the blockchain. Before we can add a page to our book, we need to make sure everything written on it is true. So we have a special puzzle on each page. The first person to solve the puzzle gets to add the page to the book. This is a way to make sure that everything is fair and safe. As well, every time we add a new page, we link it to the previous one. This makes a chain of pages, or a block chain. It's like when you make a chain with paper clips. Each clip holds onto the one before it. In this way, the big book, or in this case the blockchain, keeps a clear and safe record of all the sticker trades or Bitcoin transactions, so everyone can see it and make sure everything is right. Satoshi created something that seemed infallible, but they didn't just stop there. They embedded into the code of Bitcoin something akin to a reward system. This phenomenon is called the Bitcoin halving. The Bitcoin halving cycle is like a game where you get fewer candies for doing the same task every few years. Imagine you're helping your parents, and they give you 10 candies every time you help. But after 4 years, they say, okay, well, now you're only gonna get 5 candies for helping. This happens because there's a rule that every 4 years, the Bitcoin you get for solving these algorithms is cut in half. This is what happens with Bitcoin. The reward for making Bitcoin work is halved every 4 years, making the supply shrink and the demand explode. Now let's look at how Bitcoin has done compared to gold in terms of value. Since Bitcoin started in 2009, it has grown quite a bit in value. In some years, it's increased a lot, and in other years, it didn't do as well. But if we look at the big picture, Bitcoin has grown more than gold. For example, from 2009 to now, Bitcoin went from being worth almost nothing to currently, at the time of recording this video, being worth north of $70,000 per Bitcoin. Gold has also increased in value, but nowhere near as much as Bitcoin. Gold is more stable and it grows slowly, while Bitcoin can go up and down, but has a lot more growth overall since it started. Now for the good part. This halving cycle happened 3 times already since 2009, and we are currently seeing the 4th halving cycle take place right before our very eyes. Traditionally, Bitcoin doesn't repeat, but it does tend to rhyme. Now let's take a look at the cycle from a bird's eye view. This cycle tends to operate in a 4-year and 4-step process, usually starting with the bear market. In the bear market, there actually exists the best opportunity to get into cryptos at the lowest possible market value, because no one's checking for crypto when it's ice cold. If you were to invest during this period, you could potentially set yourself up for massive gains in the future. The next step is the equilibrium zone, or year 2. During this year, cryptos tend to start showing signs of life. One of your favorite cryptos might see some favorable news and begin a slight uptrend. However, this usually doesn't last long enough for massive gains. The next step here is year 3. At this point, we are approaching the halving itself, and the market is beginning to heat up as people begin to start taking their positions back into the market. During this year, Bitcoin completes its halving event and the market experiences some volatility. However, during the 4th year, this is when we get into the parabolic rise of Bitcoin and the crypto market as a whole. During this phase is the full-on bull run, where everyone and your mother is asking you about those cryptos. Your coworker is telling you how you bought some random meme coin and is convinced it's going to the moon. Now, you and I both know that Jim from accounting has absolutely no shot of hitting it big on meme coins, but it's nice to let him dream a bit. During this point, you've been perfectly positioned from the bear all the way to the parabolic rise, which ideally should be in a very healthy position to pull profits and go buy real estate, start a business, or pay back those damn student loans. The thing is, as Bitcoin rises, people sell and take profits. As a result, they tend to take said profits and invest it into other cryptos called altcoins. This trickle-down effect has happened time after time again as liquidity enters the market and works its way down across the entire market. As Bitcoin goes, so does the crypto market. Now, after hearing all this, you might find yourself thinking, wow, this is simple enough. Why can't I just buy into crypto, hold it, and wait for the uptrend? Well, that leads us to the main problem. People are fickle and impatient. If you were to invest your last $5,000 in a crypto project and assume that you're going to get a 10x investment, you'd be setting yourself up for the greatest disappointment in history. Investing in crypto is similar to, but not at all the same as the stock market. This is a world run purely on sentiment. All of these projects, including Bitcoin, move according to the market sentiment and macroeconomic situations. You need to be aware of and study which projects you're investing in. Know why you're holding them and stand firm in those beliefs. The reality is that these projects, including Bitcoin, have more than zero chance of going straight to zero. This in the crypto world is what we call a rug pull, and it's happened more times than anyone will really admit. The truth is, you will probably never get rich off crypto because you lack a few things. Number 1, conviction, a deep understanding of the crypto landscape, and the risk tolerance to stand firm when you see a 40% decline. However, if you're willing to take the initiative to hodl or hold on for dear life, study the projects you're invested in and only invest what you're 100% willing to lose. You will increase your chances dramatically. If you're not willing to do so, then that's completely fine. You can invest in the stock market, trade futures, or buy ETFs. No one's forcing you to dive headfirst into the deep and cold water of cryptocurrency. At the end of the day is gonna end. Investing in literally anything brings on risk. Taking that job, asking out that girl or guy, we don't judge here, and starting a business is also risky. It comes down to your belief in what you're doing and your own self-risk tolerance, if you will succeed at anything, not just in the financial world. So I leave you with this: go balls deep or not at all. Wait, no, that's not exactly what I mean. Don't take that advice. What I mean is to say is diversity. Hedge your bets by spreading your capital around and taking the time to actually research these projects. If you do this and understand the market cycle and where we are with it, you'll position yourself to make some serious cash. And frankly, I hope you do. That's why I made this channel, to help people learn things they otherwise wouldn't learn and to make some real money out here. Times are tough. If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe. Doing so helps us out a ton in the YouTube algorithm, which in turn allows us to reach a wider audience. As well, I've been Mark, you've been great, stay dangerous, and I'll see you in the next one.